Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Last night we saw the GOP debate held right here in the state of Texas, and we will have some highlights coming up. But first, let's talk about the tidbits, the after the hours things, the interviews that went on. And we see Donald Trump is accusing the IRS of targeting him because of his religion and his politics.
The one problem I have is that I'm always audited by the IRS, which I think is very unfair. I don't know, maybe because of religion, maybe because of something else, maybe because I'm doing this, although this is just recently.
What do you mean religion?
Well, maybe because of the fact that I'm a strong Christian and I feel strongly about it, and maybe there's a bias.
You think maybe you get audited for being a strong Christian?
You see what's happened. I mean, you have many religious groups that are complaining about that. They've been complaining about it for a long time.
So release the ones that aren't audited. Just seems like an easy answer for you.
No, I can't do that.
And it's not just the IRS who has Donald Trump in their sights. We see the former Mexican President Fox. He has come out and said that he's not going to build the effing wall, referring to the wall that Trump wants to build on the border. And he doubled down in an interview he did with Fox Business Network.
I have to say that I am not going to pay for that wall. I am not. And he should know that. And I'm not going to apologize. On the contrary, a real public servant, Joe Biden, Vice President of the United States, he said in Mexico, I have to apologize for this guy.
And this was always one of my issues with Donald Trump. One of my many issues with Donald Trump was that he wanted to build a wall that Mexico didn't want and wanted them to pay for it. And that just never sat well in my mind. I was like, even if he is president, bravado isn't going to pay for this wall to be built. Not to mention that he was going to build it himself. His, Trump company, construction company, whatever it's called, was going to get paid to build the wall. Like, I just don't see that happening ever. But he continues to run on it. Some people think it's a good idea. I think a physical wall is a bad idea. I much prefer the immigration policy of somebody like John McAfee, but to each his own. Now, we've seen the IRS, we've seen Mr. Fox, and now we have just regular demonstrators outside the University of Houston complex who also had very strong words against Donald Trump.
We are here to say that we will win. I believe 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 that we will win.
This isn't Russia, sir. You just illegally moved us. For the protection of you and the citizens, I have the right to move you.
Why didn't you remove them?
No, sir. They were there first.
I'm standing there minding my own business.
Oh, they were there first.
And of course, Donald Trump is not the only person in the GOP. Also, Ted Cruz. Now, this goes back to a story that Watson did a few weeks ago. He's talking about modern art, or the lack thereof. He went to a museum over there in the UK, and he was, looking at the pieces on the wall. One of them was just a blank canvas. And then he got to a point where he said, hey, I'm gonna sit down on a chair because I'm tired, my legs are stiff. Watson's 6'5" or whatever he is. And he sat down on this chair, and only to be told that he was sitting on one of the works of art, which was really notable to me because it was just a wicker chair that appeared to be spray painted orange. And now on that same type of modern art, I look at this article. A Florida man is to stare at Ted Cruz's mouth for 2 straight hours. And this man is a performance artist. And he says, this is the most dangerous thing I've ever done. It's like being caught in It's a Small World for 2 hours. Back in my day, we see these artists, these street artists, whatever, they actually used to do stuff, whether it's David Blaine or Angel or, any of these guys. They would go out and do something. They would wow your imagination. They would, attempt to read your mind or pull a rabbit out the hat or whatever they did. Now this is kind of like the sign of the times where you just go and you stare at a picture and this is supposed to be modern art. I really don't get it. And actually, I guess I can make a segment like this because I keep running into these stories that they're not the hardest hitting news stories of the day, but it is a sign of the times, kind of the degradation of society where staring at a picture could be considered, art. I think it's more art when Shia LaBeouf, watched his movies. I think this kind of falls in the same category, but would staring at that, be considered some type of art?
And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Time to take a stand, boys.
I'm Alex Jones, and like Rowdy Piper, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick globalist butt. It's time for all of you, the Infowars, and myself included, to take our fight to the next level and to help the public put the sunglasses on. The metaphor for expanding your awareness, researching what's happening, and admitting that there's a global elite establishing a planetary tyranny. And I was just thinking about it today. It's leap year coming up on Monday. That only happens every 4 years at the end of February. And this is the best time ever to promote liberty and freedom everywhere. We got Super Tuesday coming up next week. And it's important for Americans to be involved in their political process, but not just in their political process, in every action you take with what you talk about and the products you buy and what you promote. You affect change in the world. We don't just vote at the ballot box. We vote with our dollars. We vote with our feet. We vote with our actions. And that's why for leap year, running from this Friday evening right through Monday evening, we're running the biggest sale in the history of 20 plus years of Infowars and Infowars.com. The leap year special only comes around every 4 years. 30% off all products at InfoWarsStore.com and free shipping on top of the discounts that are already there. This is a major loss leader with some of the products, but overall it will help us fund the Infowars operation and get our reporters out there across the world covering what's happening. The planet is ready to wake up. People are ready for the truth. But to do that, those of you already awake have to redouble your efforts spreading the word and directing people to good sources of pro-human information like Infowars.com, my syndicated radio show, the nightly news, and more. I'll be back this Sunday live, 4 to 6 p.m. with the Sunday radio show as well. But in the meantime, take the time out to visit InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com to find the specific nutraceuticals and take advantage of the biggest specials yet on true game-changing products that are simply amazing. Like Survival Shield Nation Iodine X2. Most people are iodine deficient, and most iodine out there is bound to other compounds, so you don't really absorb it. Our research shows this is the purest, strongest, most focused, good halogen ever. And what it does is simply amazing. Read the 5-star reviews at InfoWarsLife.com today and take advantage of the biggest sale ever in Infowars history. And on top of that, I finally want to thank all of you that have spread the word about the broadcast and that have supported us and our sponsors and bought the products at InfoWarsStore.com. Because without you, none of this would have been possible. My pledge to you is that I will keep the sunglasses on, and this operation will be a sunglass factory in the metaphor or the allegory of they live, and that we will help humanity take the blinders off, come out of the cave, and defeat this globalist system that's being constructed. Now back to Infowars Nightly News and more. I'm Alex Jones.
Take a stand, boys. You know what? You got a little courage. Stand up for yourself.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the Infowar.
The Oscar winners give a press conference and how to buy a sailboat as...
Long live the Republic! Death to the New World!